welcome back. It's been a minute since I've been filming just in front of my bookshelf, so today was fun trying to get back into the rhythm. Anyways, my name is Susan, and today I'm bringing you my 2020 reading goals for series. Now, my Goodreads reading goal is set to 100 books, but I would actually really enjoy it if I could read 12 books a month, which means I'm a little bit behind for this month. I think I've only read 6, because I know, I'm not even about to get into that right now. Anyway, let's just jump right in onto this list here, because I have quite a few books I want to talk about for a series I do want to read. So yeah, let's just jump right in. The first series I want to be completing actually in 2020 is going to be the Devious Trilogy. Now, this is actually one I'm definitely going to be completing, as I have already started The Hand on the Wall, which came out this morning, which, you know, came out today, so release day, and I'm already about maybe I think 30 pages into it, and I'm loving it so far. So yeah, no, but if you didn't know, Truly Devious is a mystery book that follows 2 separate timelines, one in the 1930s and one in present day. In the present day, we follow Stevie Bell as she is admitted into Ellingham Academy, where in the 1930s a big murder kidnapping mystery happened, and she has been obsessed with this mystery and she's been wanting to solve it. And that's all I can really think of to tell you without giving away spoilers. I mean, we do know for a fact in the first book that in the 1930s, there is a note left from Truly Devious. There is Albert Ellingham, his wife and daughter are kidnapped, as well as another student at the school who was killed. And yeah, you just follow that mystery and trying to solve it with Stevie. But in the present day, a murder happens as well, so she is trying to solve it and piece that one together as well. The next book series I would actually like to finish this year, and it is another one that is a high priority for me, is the Archivist Scythe Trilogy by Neil Shusterman. I read Scythe in December of last year, and I really loved it. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and yeah, I don't know how best to describe this except as a futuristic society where humans have evolved past any illness, disease, and anything that could kill them. Basically, there are revival centers, which I know your first revival is technically free, and any after, your parents or yourself has to pay for. But either way, the hospitals have been turned into revival centers, and we have scythes to help control the population. And yeah, that's all I really can say, because everything else I can think of to say about Scythe is considered a spoiler. Now we're on to some of the books that I haven't read yet. So the other trilogy I would like to complete in 2020 is going to be The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I think this is the Folk of the Air trilogy, but I own 2 copies of The Cruel Prince and Queen of Nothing, and I've read, I think, the first 100 pages of The Cruel Prince, and I really enjoyed what I was reading. So yeah, figure now that Queen of Nothing is officially out, it is time to finally dive in and read this trilogy. The next series I would like to read, I think, has 8 books out, but I own 7 of these books, and that's not counting the novellas. I don't own any of the novellas, but that is I Am Number 4. What is this series called? I have no idea what the series is actually called, but this series is by Pittacus Lore. It is, oh wow, if I just looked, it's called the Lorien Legacy series. I'm tempted to pick this up on audiobook because sci-fi and me don't 100% get along, but I've had this series on my shelf since my Half Price Books was open, and that closed I think 1.5 years, 2 years ago now. So yeah, I read part of this, but it was right when I first got it, and I picked this book up 3 years ago. And then because of how it was, I didn't want to risk not getting everything in hardcover because I like the hardcovers. So I picked up the first 7 in hardcover. Don't ask me why. I was being an overambitious reader, and then I never picked them up. So yeah, I don't know much about this other than sci-fi, and there's a movie based off of I Am Number 4. Hello, more sci-fi. The next book I would actually like to read, well, the trilogy, is going to be the Illuminae Files. I own all 3 of these again. I bought the first 2 at a Harry Potter event at my Barnes & Noble when Gemini first came out, and I picked them up because I like this cover. Like, look at this. Look at this. I had never seen anything like this at the time, and so I picked it up for both me and my dad to read, but then my dad doesn't read. I don't know why I keep buying him books. He doesn't read, but like, I've been wanting to read this. I think I've read, once again, maybe the first 100 or so pages. Like, I have a bookmark in here. Oh wow, I read 172 pages, and it's a mixed media format, so I'm assuming it's going to be good. I've listened to some of the audiobook and I liked that, and I've liked what I've read of this, but I don't know. I don't know why I just keep putting it down. I think maybe because it's so big. Next series on my list, I don't know if I will get to. It's been like something I've wanted to read because I've technically only read one book in the series, and it's the second book. But that is The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I really forgot about this series. And then I remembered like different things in middle school where we had to do the accelerated reader. And so many points were like required to pass. And one of my things my teacher did to help us get our like reader points was in 6th grade, she read us a book. And she read us The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So yeah. Figured it's time to actually get into this series and finish it. From what I remember reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe growing up, and I remember reading Prince Caspian. I don't remember any of the other ones. So yeah, this is like a short book, and it actually gives me perfect like winter vibes. So who knows, I might pick this up soon. Next book series is gonna be one. Stay. The next book series is going to be one that I'm actually definitely going to be finishing because I'm listening to it on audiobook right now and I'm on book 2. But that is The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I own the first 3 in this series. The only things I don't own are Winter and I think the 2 novella bind-ups, which was like Fairest and something else, or like Stars Above. And yeah, I have all of the books on Libby right now for audio, and I'm going to be finishing it. But this has been on my shelf for way too long. Like, before I even heard of BookTube, back in like 2014, when I first started buying books again, Cinder was one of the first books I had ever bought. And I read the first like 50 pages of it and liked it, so I bought the sequel. And then, I don't know what it was, I just put it down. So yeah, never finished it. And now I finally have read Cinder. I gave it a 4-star rating. So yeah. Gonna hopefully finish up Scarlet and Crest. Those are my 2 definites to finish for audio before I jump into anything else on my list. So yeah, we'll see how well that goes. There's only 2 more left to talk about, and this one is another trilogy that has come out in full, and I own all 3, so that's kind of why I want to read it. But that is the Renegades trilogy, once again by Marissa Meyer. I've read part of Renegades. However, it was in the summer, I was at the beach or at the pool, and it was big, and I just didn't want to carry it in my bag. So instead of, you know, powering through it to finish, why is my dust jacket on upside down? Oh well, I'll fix it later. Maybe not. It'll wait till I actually read the series. But Renegades is just like described as like the superhero book or supervillain book. But when I was buying Arch Enemies and Supernova at Books of Wonder last week, they had actually told me if I had liked any of like the Marvel movies, I would like this. So yeah, and I know Emma Books really hypes this one up. This is the one I didn't want to talk about. I'm gonna get so much hate for not being caught up on this series, especially because I started it like 2 years ago. But that is The Mortal Instruments, and honorable mentions to The Infernal Devices and The Dark Artifices. So I have a weird history with Shadowhunters and the series. So I read the first book and then didn't continue on. Like I tried reading the first book so many times and I just didn't power through. And then finally I powered through and I loved it. Like, I think it took me like 3 tries to even love City of Bones. But when I did finish it, I loved it. When I read City of Ashes, I loved it. When I read City of Glass, I loved it. However, after that, I took a pause on Mortal Instruments and I read Clockwork Prince, I think it is, Clockwork Angel, whichever the first one is in The Infernal Devices. and loved that one. However, my intent after that was to get into City of Fallen Angels. I didn't. I can't even tell you what I picked up instead because I don't remember. But I picked something else up instead to get a break from the world and didn't finish. And now with The Last Hours coming out, I want to catch up on this series. I want to catch up on all of them, but they're all so big, and I've tried reading City of Fallen Angels I think 4 times, and it hasn't worked out because it's such a slow start. And I know that that's how it's supposed to be, probably because it's the second trilogy in the Mortal Instruments, but it just hasn't worked out, and I'm hoping to do it soon. Like, I'm off sometime this week and I'm off sometime next week where I might just sit down and read like for like as long as I can on City of Fallen Angels and just jumpstart it, because if I can jumpstart it and maybe get like 150 to 200 pages into it, I know it gets better, because everybody says City of Fallen Angels is like one of the worst books in the series. So anyways, yeah, I need to finish this soon. Alright, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I do plan to make more like content. I'm hoping to be able to make content weekly, but I don't want to like completely promise that. So I am sorry for the scattered uploads. But yeah, that's going to be all. If you want to see any reviews for any of the series I talked about in this video, please let me know in a comment down below. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Peace.